To all my fellow reflectors who are understandably like, what the f? How am I supposed to wait 28 days lunar cycle? How is that supposed to help me in my life? This video is for you. Thank you, Jess, by the way, for this comment, because I had the same reaction when I first heard about human design, and I was like, all my centers are white. My strategy is supposed to be wait 28 days. How am I going to do that? Reflectors are the rarest type, and they represent less than 1% of the population. Now, in the original video that I posted here, I was saying that there's an X on your body graph, and specifically, it's on the center that is your internal authority. But for reflectors, we have no internal authority. So the reason we're designed to wait 28 days being reflectors is because of this. So you see this yellow moon right here? This is representing the current position of the moon. Currently, it's in gate 13. If I'm looking for my own lunar placements, I'm going to find my design moon is in gate 31 and my personality moon is in gate 48. These are 2 points that are relevant for me to start my lunar cycle. The moon moves through 3 to 4 gates a day, and it takes 28 days for the moon to go all the way around. So for me, as a person that's been living with the lunar cycles for years now, this is how I do it. So you guys see this slider right here? I'm going to slide it forward until this moon comes all the way here. Poof. Behold. Also, for anyone wondering what app I'm using, this is Neutrino Design. In my opinion, it's the absolute best one, which is the reason why I partnered with them and we're able to bring it to you at 25% off the subscription. All right, now back to the lunar cycle. I'm going to look at this date, October 24th. For me, that's an important date because my design moon and the transit moon are in the same gate. Let's bump it forward a few days, and now we're at October 29th. You can either choose from your design moon or your personality moon to be the start of your lunar cycle. Now, whichever date you choose, whether it's your design moon or your personality moon, it's going to take 28 days for the moon to move through this mandala and get back to the point of origin. During this 28 days, this moon is going to be activating gate 57, gate 32, gate 50, which are invariably going to turn on certain centers. They're going to cause definition to appear in your body graph. For reflectors, the treasure that we're seeking is constantly moving, which is like, can be a pain in the butt if you let it, or it can be the coolest, most mysterious ride that nobody is ever going to get to experience except the other 1% of y'all that are reflectors. For instance, when this moon goes into gate 12, which is way over here, there you are, that's going to define my solar plexus and my throat, which is creating a connection between my emotions and my throat by way of the channel of openness. During that connection, that is a great time for me to consider moving through some emotional waves, embracing some of the melancholy, maybe writing about it, because this channel is notorious for individualization, meaning it's going to help me differentiate myself based off of my own feelings. When the transit moon goes into gate 16 over there, that's going to define my spleen and my throat. Great time for me to audit myself and look at the things that are healthy for me and maybe cut away some things that are not healthy for me. There's also a notes section. If you scroll down, you can click notes right here, and you can attach them to certain gates. So this one is attached to the moon, and it's attached to not only a date, but like I said, the moon in a certain gate. Now, like I said, this can either be like a what the F or like a dude, total invitation into being a freaking wizard / witch. Full invitation to just be and live a completely different lifestyle than everybody else, because nobody is as affected by the environment and the people in the environment as reflectors. Mental projectors too. So what you want to look for, instead of looking for some kind of treasure inside your own body, is you want to look for the treasure in others, or rather the people who have found their treasure and know how to deliver their treasure and share their treasure and be excited with it. You don't want to be around people that are manifesting their not self signature, people that don't know how to use their strategy and authority. They're just going to project all of that onto you. Your treasure is in developing the eyes to see and the ears to hear when people are actually being themselves versus when people are parroting or just regurgitating stuff that they think is valuable. As a reflector, you are incredibly susceptible, especially if you don't use this lunar cycle, to weed out people who are trying to get you to become something other than what you are. They're trying to get you to become what they want you to be. They don't actually care about who you are. You use this 28-day cycle to weed them out. And don't overcomplicate this lunar cycle thing. It literally can just look like this. Let's say somebody offers you a job. Well, hello, I'm offering you a job. As a reflector, this could be your response. Well, hey, I really appreciate you offering me the job. The only condition that I'm going to accept this job is if I get a 28-day trial period to see if this job is actually right for me. Then the employer can say, well, absolutely, that sounds reasonable. Or they could say, no, I'm sorry, if you're going to take the job, we're going to need you to be committed for at least a minimum of a year, blah, 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 blah. To which you say, no thanks then, friend. Same thing works in relationships, but let's mix it up. Let's say someone wants to be in a relationship with you. Hello, I'd like to be in a relationship with you. You could respond simply with, well, I'm flattered you want to be in a relationship with me. Now that I know that this is what you want, let's spend the next 28 days and just see where things go. To which they can say, oh, wow, that sounds lovely. I'd love that. Or they can say, is that a no? I'm crushed. I just need to know right now. To which you can say, well, if you need to know right now, then the answer is no. I'm sorry, I take a lot of time to decide whether or not something is right for me. And if you're unable to give me this, us in a relationship is not going to work out. Now, these are obviously very sterile, clean, perfect cookie cutter scenarios. Yeah, it's meant to illustrate a point. The point is that you as a reflector are very, 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 very different than everybody else. And until you embrace that by experimenting with living life in this slower paced way, rather than a solar cycle being, you're a lunar cycle being. It's very similar to the moon cycles that women experience through menstruation. They say that golden rule is like treat others the way that you want to be treated. Well, it goes both ways. Treat yourself the way you want others to treat you. And if you find out you're a reflector, one of the first things that I would do would be to spend the next 28 days not doing anything. See who reaches out to you. See what kind of invitations you get. See what kind of feelings of loneliness. See what kind of emotions arise in you. And after that 28 days is up, give yourself permission to make some changes in your life. Now, it's super helpful to journal during this entire time because literally there's going to be so many things that you're able to track. It might drive you crazy if you try to just keep it all in your head. So do yourself a favor and put it on paper. Now, if you got more questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. And if you learned something about yourself as a reflector and you want your friends to know, or you know other reflectors that deserve to know, do us all a favor and send them this video.